guys, it's Olivia, and welcome to today's episode on the Fashion Fables podcast. I am so happy you're here. I'm so appreciative that you guys are listening. I am so happy to be here because I feel like I can now update you guys and just kind of how my life's been going and stuff like that. I've been doing a lot of episodes with guests, which I'm super grateful for, but I'm also really excited to be able to just do a solo episode today to kind of just update you guys and just talk a little bit about what I want to share today. So I have been doing awesome. I've been super busy at university and classes and things like that, but also I just feel like I'm in this different state of mind than I've been in a really long time, in that I just feel super fearless in the pursuit of just going for things that seem scary and things that I would never really be confident in doing before. I just feel like I go day by day with the best intentions for myself. I'm positive, and I kind of just am doing my thing, not letting kind of other people's opinions, social media or anything just kind of affect the goals I have for myself. And I just feel super powerful just saying that, because I think it's something that every person wants to reach, to become their best self, but also just enjoying each day as it is and not so much stressing about what am I gonna do after I graduate, or what is the future gonna hold, what am I gonna be anxious one day. Just kind of living in the present will allow you to really just appreciate everything that's around you and kind of just become closer with your friends, your family, and become closer to your purpose. And I think that's super important and something that I really want to stress in my podcast. I love talking about fashion, of course, and it's honestly one of the best things in the world to be able to connect with international girls who feel a passion towards fashion as well, because I'm able to learn. It's a mutual benefit. I'm learning from them, they're learning from me, and it's just this amazing, positive, inspiring whole community. But also I just think it's super important to understand that nobody has it all figured out, and we're all kind of figuring it out as we go. And I think that sometimes it's just important to just take a step back and reevaluate what you see for yourself, what you see for your future, what your goals might look like, and things like that. And that's totally different for every person, which is so beautiful, because you are going to do what's best for you, and that is ultimately what you want. Sometimes it's super hard because you see all these girls on Instagram and whatever. You think that your life needs to be compared to them, but you never know what they're thinking about your life. They might be saying the same thing you're saying about them, I wish I had this, or this picture looks so pretty, I wish I was able to kind of have this background, things like that. But just focus on yourself. Take inspiration, I would say, but never feel like you need to copy somebody. Be your own original, authentic self, because that's the best. And people will kind of look at you as a more confident and just person who is just knows what she wants. And I just think that's so important. You want to be looked at as elegant and classy, and you want yourself to be looked at in a positive light rather than some type of attention-seeking light and things like that. Because if you're yourself, then people will notice it and people will compliment you without it having to be so forced and things like that. So stay on your path, stay on your route, and I think that you will be so set. I love to talk about this, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me, because I'm super passionate about it, and I would love to just share how I feel and things like that. And I just can't stress enough how grateful I am to be able to be having this platform as a form of an outlet for me to kind of just share how I feel with you guys. And so moving on from this, so I just wanted to kind of touch on today the importance of staying grounded and staying present. I touched a little bit on it, but I just really want to emphasize the importance of it. And it's definitely a mindset, and it definitely does not happen overnight. And it's so interesting because I was lucky enough to have a guest. She's from Amsterdam, and she's a blogger. She just kind of posts what she really enjoys to post. She doesn't really have a set aesthetic and things like that, which is super inspiring to me, because it means that you don't need an aesthetic in order to be happy, in order to be successful on Instagram. You can kind of be yourself, and that will give you followers, and it will give you the most authentic community. And I actually posted something on my story yesterday saying spread authenticity, and it just was something that I'm really passionate about and I really believe in. So anyway, I think staying grounded is something that comes with maturity, and it's definitely taken me a while to actually feel like grounded with like what I'm doing with my life, because it's so easy to like get caught up in like, is what I'm doing something that's going to actually be beneficial for me in the end? It can be stressful because we don't know if what we're doing is worth it in the end, or if the decisions we make ultimately are going to get us to where we want to be. But like, I think you have to just figure out as much as you can, like personally, like for example, if you're at a university or a college, like figure out what major interests you, figure out like what career path you see yourself in, figure out the people you want to surround yourself with, the food you want to put into your body. Like all these things are your own choices that like nobody can kind of like force you to do, because you choose who you hang out with, you choose your diet, you choose what you're eating, if you're plant-based, if you eat meat, you know what I'm saying? So just things like that are all your personal choice. Your major is definitely a huge thing, because like the classes you take kind of determine how you feel about it, because you want to be happy in your classes, you want to enjoy what you're learning, and so those are all things you can control. But like aside from that, we cannot control everything, and that's something that I've really learned, that like I cannot control every single thing. I can only control what's in my hands. And so it's kind of like I've learned that like if it's not in my control, to like not stress about it, because I really believe in like everything happens for a reason. So kind of like sometimes like something will happen and I'm like, oh, like I was on such like a happy like point, and I was like, everything was going so well, and then this one thing happened and now I'm getting all upset and stuff like that. But I have to understand that like, yes, obviously like these things, we don't want to go through obstacles and hardships, but these things like shape us and they make us stronger. And so through the obstacles, I've felt like I've become more grounded through that, because I've kind of learned how to become resilient and just kind of like going with the flow rather than stressing about every single thing that happens. And that's what makes life beautiful, to know that like there's always going to be struggles and hardships, but it's just how you deal with those things. And so sometimes by just like letting life take its course, letting nature take its course, and like trusting the process, trusting that things are going to work out, will actually make you a more calm person within, and will actually radiate positivity from without, because you know that what you're doing is getting you to where you want to be tomorrow, and the things that you can't control are going to be okay as well. Like you kind of just have to have that faith and that trust, even though things get hard, things get scary, things get, you feel hopeless and things like that. And I think this has to really do with the people you surround yourself with and the communities you really are a part of, because the people you are around should be there to inspire you, to uplift you. You should not feel some type of jealousy or envious towards that, because like you are doing your best, they are doing their best. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of that maturity where it's like you have to really get over. And like I don't mean this in some type of like way to like tell you what to do, but like honestly, you really have to just like get over the thought that like I need so many friends, I need this I honestly like, I don't know if it's just me, but I really do not like the word friend group, just because like you're defining a group of girls that can easily like not be your friend anymore, because life happens, people change, people grow up, and to define this like specific particular group as like your friend group, it can lead you to just feeling disappointed if like they do something that like hurts your feelings and things like that. Like in my opinion, like okay, like nothing against if you have like a friend group or whatever, and like I have like a group of friends too, but I personally just rather have a bunch of friends from like different, like I don't know, different interests and things like that. And like I don't want to call people like, oh, like this is my friend group, because I feel like I'm putting people in like a box rather than being open-minded, rather than meeting new people and finding those people who inspire you, uplift you. Like I don't know, it's just something with me that it just doesn't sit right for me to be like, oh, like my friend group, because like I feel as if I have a lot of friends from a lot of different places, from international countries, from my school, from back home, my family and things like that. And everybody that I have in my life is here for a reason, and I cherish each person because they have each given me something that I truly am grateful for and have impacted my life. But like I just never put like my friends in this like cookie cutter box of like, oh, like my friend group, because also like people start like feeling left out, like, oh, like Olivia said like I'm not in her friend group, like am I actually her friend, like you know what I mean? So it's just like those like things that are just like unnecessary in my opinion. I think it's a thing of maturity where it's like you gravitate towards people who make you feel your best and things like that. And so I just don't really like labeling. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Just like this like journey of like self-growth is just like super like amazing, and everyone goes through it at different times and things of that sort. So never feel like you're behind. Never feel like you're like, oh, like I'm not doing as well as this person, because like truly like your life will like map out the way it's meant to. Do you know what I'm saying? And maybe right now like you feel like, oh, like I'm not where I want to be, but like set goals for yourself. Like, okay, like you feel like unsettled with yourself, but like what can you do in order to change that day by day? It's not like an overnight process, and like some people have that like misconception that it is, but it's truly like a process. And even when like you feel like you're at your best, like you're still gonna grow, you're still gonna learn, you're still gonna meet people that change your life, that impact you. So keep an open mind, stay humble, stay grounded. Staying humble is super important. Like you might be accomplishing things, but don't let that get to your head and like make you think, oh, like I don't need to do anything anymore, like I've already accomplished this, because there's so many things that like you can like keep accomplishing if you just set your mind to it and you just like, what can I keep doing? Like never feel like you are at a point where it's like there's nothing more you can do, because there always is. You just have to search a little deeper, searching outside of the box. And I think the difference that separates like the ordinary person from the extraordinary person, and I know I exaggerated the extra, because I just think like everyone should strive for that extraordinary being. And that is not defined by any type of person or culture. It's really defined by yourself. But when I see somebody, I look for, how are you different? How are you as an individual? There's billions of people in this world. How are you going to stand out? How are you going to change the world? And this is just like a hypothetical question. It's just something for you guys to think about, but truly think like, how are you gonna change the world? Like if you want to be different, what are you gonna do that's gonna make you different? Do you know what I'm saying? And by thinking about this will actually elevate your worth, elevate who you are as a person, because you will actually be able to step outside of your comfort zone and reach new levels that you never thought you were capable of. So really stay grounded, stay humbled, and realize that you can actually have any goal you want, and if you put your mind to it, you can do it. Like some of the things that I feel like I've said and done, I thought were an exaggeration. I'm like, what are you saying? Like, you're not gonna do this. And then I just like am like to myself, why are you talking negatively about yourself? Because you are the only you, and you should talk to yourself as nice as you want others to talk to you. And so I know this might sound like super like challenging, like, oh, well, like I get down on myself and things like that. And trust me, I totally get it, because I would describe myself as like a perfectionist to the max. And if some little thing goes wrong, I literally like freak out. I'm like, oh my goodness, like what is happening? But lately I've just been feeling super grounded and just grateful for everything I have. And like I just trust that like everything's gonna work out. Like I'm doing everything I can to become the best version of myself. And so the rest is up to whatever, God's hands, and it will work out for me in the best way possible. And I hope you guys know that your lives will happen for what they are meant to be. You will find that person, your significant other, when it's meant to be. Don't rush it. Don't feel like, oh, I need this at this time, because you'll know. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what makes it even more beautiful, when it's not forced, when it's not natural. Don't feel like you're stuck in your career. You can change your major. You can change literally what you want to do if you have the right strategy, if you have the right why behind what you're doing. If you think things out, then you can really change what you're doing. So never feel stuck, never feel like you're somewhere where you don't want to be. If you're somewhere you don't want to be, you can leave that situation and go somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel loved. Society tries to sometimes make you feel pressure that you need to be doing this, but I hope you guys trust with what I'm saying, that you are doing your very best, and never feel like you are behind. Never feel like you're even alone, because there's so many people out there that are going through the same thing. And I really, really recommend making a friend in another country, in another state. And that can be through Instagram DM, or that can be through like Snapchat or anything, but just like LinkedIn, a professional development website. But try to immerse yourself into a new culture and try to meet a new person that can change your mindset. Not in a bad, not even in a positive or negative way, just change the way you think about things. And I'm telling you, you will maximize your potential. You will become a person who can see life in all different types of lenses, understand different people, why people make different decisions, and you will become a better version of yourself. I've truly felt like I've done that through my guests internationally, but also just like really paying attention to people from different cultures, ethnicities, and things like that to kind of understand their way of life, because sometimes you're so caught up in like your life and what you're doing, but there's also so many other people out there who are amazing, who are so inspiring, that you have just not like learned about enough yet to kind of like be able to kind of understand them. So I challenge you guys, reach out to somebody, try to make a friendship in another country, and an international country that you're maybe passionate about or interested about learning, and see what they can teach you, see how they can shift your mindset, and really see how this makes you a better person, and see how this makes you more educated, more well off, and more classy, and have more understanding and empathy for others, because that's super important. And you should really try to do that because you want to be the best version of yourself. So why not step out of your comfort zone? So I can keep going on and on about this topic because I'm super passionate about it, and I'm just super happy that I'm able to share this with all of you. Hopefully this resonated with some of you guys, and hopefully you can kind of take some of what I'm saying into your life, because I truly have felt like I've changed in my mindset and things like that by just understanding and listening to others. So I hope you guys do as well. So never forget your worth, never forget what goals you have, never forget that you're alone, and always remember that you can become the person you want to be today, right now, at this very moment. So stop doubting yourself and really think about who you want to become and what steps it's going to take in order for you to get there. So much love as always. I really appreciate this so much. Love you guys. Next week we'll be back with a guest episode, so stay tuned for that. Thank you. I hope this touched at least one person, because that would be super fulfilling for me, and I hope this was a genuine talk for you guys, and I hope that you were able to relax maybe with a cup of coffee or cup of tea and just unwind and kind of just feel some type of connection with this. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you soon.